Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our regular EGM Securities update. I've got Lawrence back. Lawrence, good to see you after that long absence.
Good to see you too.
I'm glad you weren't on the beach. I hear you were in the office.
We're going to talk about oil now.
Yes.
And you're going to see now oil is losing.
So this is Brent.
Yeah, this is Brent.
It was been in a really good rally from the beginning of the year. I think we got as high as 80-something, 87 even. But today we're below 80. There was a big sell-off yesterday.
Exactly, yeah.
To be frank, what I had been thinking was that, with the midterm elections, with the sensitivity of the US consumer stroke voter to oil prices, and there's that economic theory that there's certain prices which people get really upset about because they have to fill the car every so often. So I thought Trump was going to just dump a whole lot of oil onto the market from his special reserve, drag it down for that period, and then we'd see a rally afterwards. But we seem to be coming off already.
If I can comment on your point of high expensive oil prices on the pump, remember it's not driving season now. Driving season is in April all the way up to I think June, April, June, July for 3 months there. That is when people would actually feel the pinch when they are fueling. Right now it's winter. People don't have that much use for oil, maybe just for heating their homes. And if I show you my seasonality chart again for oil, I'll kind of show you that December. This last month a very poor month for oil, and I think that is what is happening right now.
Have you got your seasonality chart here for oil?
I have my seasonality chart over here. So if you look at this chart right here, it shows
so these are the bad months, October, November, December.
Yeah, and we are coming to November now because we're in October. So I expect three poor months of oil. Yes. The reason why it's high here is because this is the driving season.
Yes.
So people party a lot and they drive a lot, But right now it's winter, so.
That's very interesting.
Exactly.
But obviously, if there's a cold winter, you're going to use a lot of oil, aren't you, for air conditioning, heating.
But then again, if you look at this chart, for all those years since 1986 to 2017, they have had winters.
Yes.
But either way,
it didn't make any difference.
You don't need that much oil and for heating, in terms of winter.
So you think this is the beginning of a downdraft as opposed to
because of seasonality,
yes,
as opposed to.
But Lawrence, we've got to think of one other thing, which is geopolitical risk, right? In the Middle East, there's been all this issue around Saudi Arabia, the Crown Prince, what has happened. Yeah. So there is more geopolitical risk in the frame, right? I mean, and then you've also got the trade war. If that becomes ugly, one would have thought that oil.
Well, the trade war is poor for oil because there's going to be less production
and less GDP.
So less demand for oil. So it's going to push. my theory for lower oil prices. See, and also like you are saying, Trump wants oil to lose, so he might actually just dump more oil. And also I feel that at the price of 80. You're going to get so many investments into oil rigs and things like that.
Yes.
That actually just push, price even lower.
So increase of supply.
Yeah.
So let's just go back to the chart.
So if I just comment on this chart, right? The first thing is that prices tend to rise consistently between April and May because you said it's driving season, right? And then they tend to fall between November and December, right? Because it's winter and there's nothing much happening. So it's just a trend. So this is what now the seasonality chart is showing us. And now we're entering into November and December. So obviously I have a bias to kind of follow this strategy and kind of look for, selling opportunities. But it's very smart for you to kind of put to factor in geopolitical risk. Most of the risk that is going to push oil lower. So if I see a risk that is going to push oil higher, I wouldn't take a trade on it because I expect, lower oil prices. But if I see a political risk that is going to push, oil lower, like, China-America trade war, I would look to sell on that as opposed to buy on it. So for me, I'll disregard anything that tells me oil is going to rise, and then I'll use analysis that's showing me that oil is going to go lower, and then maybe I would go heavy on that and maybe take higher risk on a falling oil market.
Excellent.
Yeah,
that was great.
Awesome.
Well done. Thank you.